rapidement. Si aussi il y a plus de consommation dans cette valeur de 5 minutes, c'est dispersé, les économies sont dispersées avec plus de personnes. Mais on a minimisé le risque pour le long terme avec utiliser ce taux d'inflation et aussi pour le consommateur, pensez à le long terme. Le gaz à effet de serre a réduit beaucoup. Aussi, c'est le plus grand paiement pour la dette. Pour chaque enfant dans la province aujourd'hui, le dette de la province de presque 6 500 $, c'est pas leur responsabilité. On a répondu à cette question aujourd'hui. Okay, Michel?
How are we going to say?
Okay, yes, I'm coming around.
I've been trying to do it every time. Okay.
You're the warmest one. I should make it.
I've got all day. Okay. Where did this deal leave the future of David Hay? Will it change at all, his role? Some people are speculating.
I've asked David Hay to carry out this transaction. We've signed a contract with Mr. Hay that's going to be honored. He plays a critical role in the management of MB Power. When that contract is expired, that's a decision of the new shareholder to make on whether to renew that contract or not.
When you signed that contract, this deal was already in the works. Was that a part of the consideration?
Yes, it was.
Okay, guys.
Why is the industrial rate going down to the Quebec level, but the residential rate is not going down to the Quebec level?
What's that, sir?
Why is the industrial rate going down to the Quebec level, but the residential rate in New Brunswick not going down to Quebec level?
The value of the heritage pool today that we're receiving from Quebec has a value of approximately $5 billion in savings. That value, 60% of it is going to homeowners in the province of New Brunswick and small businesses. Approximately $2 billion for homeowners and $1 billion would be passed on to small business. For the medium and large size businesses in the province of New Brunswick, they'll receive savings of approximately $2 billion. So it is equally spread out, the value of that cheaper power that we're receiving now from Quebec than we could produce under the existing structure of MB Power. And that's what we're looking at in the long term is, the debate now is shifting from the immediate term benefits to the long term benefits. And I think this is a great good discussion that New Brunswickers are having now, because we need to look at the long term. The fact is today, we're closing a number of fossil fuel plants in the province of New Brunswick that we're going to have enormous cost to ratepayers in the future. Once there's a price put on carbon under a cap and trade system, that price has to be absorbed by increases through rates. We've taken away that risk. We've also eliminated 40% of the debt. So for every child in the province of New Brunswick, the grandchildren and the children of parents out there today, their children are no longer responsible for that debt of approximately $6,500 per every resident in the province of New Brunswick. We've taken away that risk for the future. And looking at the environmental responsibilities. Today, New Brunswick is going to achieve its emission targets under our Climate Change Action Plan. We have approximately 19 megatons of carbon gas that's emitted every year. We're reducing that greenhouse gas emissions under our current plan by 4.5 megatons. We have the potential now with the elimination of these fossil fuel plants to going down to approximately 12 megatons of greenhouse gas emissions. So if you look at what the long-term benefits are, we're minimizing the risk on some of our aging infrastructure. If Hydro-Quebec makes a decision to proceed with the refurbishment of the Mactaquac Dam, that becomes a risk then of the utility in Quebec. It does not become a risk for the ratepayers of New Brunswick. So that's what the long-term benefits are that I'm hoping New Brunswickers will be able to evaluate.
Do you have any response?
On the residential question,
yeah.
I mean, I understand what you're saying about the big picture, but for the individual homeowner, they've got to be wondering why they are not going to see a rate reduction when the big industry down the street is going to see a rate reduction. On the individual basis of the homeowner, did you look at the idea of reducing rates?
We did, and there's a value in the pool. And ultimately, we had a decision to make as government. We wanted to pass on as many savings as we could to homeowners, but we also wanted to put more savings that we passed on to homeowners. It also meant that we would have to keep more debt. And we made a decision.
Or give a less of a cut to industry.
No, well, I want to be very clear. What we've been saying today, this is a balanced approach. Next year, industry will automatically start to see a rate increase, and that will climb over the next 5 years. New Brunswickers are actually receiving a greater benefit as homeowners because they're not going to see major increases in their power bills because it's frozen. And those increases, using a conservative approach, would have been approximately 3% a year, which would be 15% savings. So there's greater savings that are